How's it going, guys? I'm going to be showing off one of my decks. I'm super into Magic the Gathering, this is my first video about it. This is my favorite commander deck that I've made so far. Which other zombies you control has Vigilance 4 too as the key terms. Whenever another legendary creature you control dies, create a token that's a copy of that creature except it's not a legendary and it's a 2 black zombie in addition to its other types. Now this commander is extremely good. I think, let's check EDH chart real quick. I don't know where he's ranked for the top commanders, but 405. Now, I think he's like the best. He's so underrated in my opinion. My first planeswalker is obviously Elspeth. If you don't know, she's just a token doubler. She also can get rid of removal and whatnot. She's very good. For 5 mana, she's pretty good for what my deck's trying to do, because obviously they become tokens when they die. Where is it? There we go. So my first creature that I have is whenever Iara or another black creature control enters, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So this is just good like ETBs, but with my commander out, right? If I can get any way to sacrifice another black creature, draw a card, this is extremely good because I want to get black creatures into the graveyard ASAP. So she's just very good because the ETBs, it's 3 black, which you'll see later. I have a lot of mana with that. Same with this guy, he's just a sacrifice creature artifact, you put a +1/+1 counter. He's not really used for anything other than just sacrifice. He's a legendary creature, so this guy, very good. Whenever opponent casts a spell, no mana is spent to cast it, so counter that spell. So there's a lot of spells where they like cheat out and whatnot, and you could just do it. And this guy, you can also sacrifice, and creatures you control just gain indestructible. So a lot of times when I'm playing this deck, people do try to board wipe, but with this guy, he can counter all that. Everyone knows braids, but I'll explain just in case you don't know. Basically, at the beginning of your end step, you can sacrifice a creature, artifact, enchantment, land, or planeswalker. Everyone else, they don't, they lose 2 life, and then you draw a card. I love this guy. If a creature dying causes a trigger ability of a permanent you control, or to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. This is so freaking good with my commander because if I can get him out, right, he recomes back to the battlefield, right? And let's just say I have token doublers and whatnot. So let's say I have Anointed Procession, however you say it. Then 2 of these come out, so it'll trigger 2 additional times. So it's super good. This guy's another ETB. Everyone knows this guy, but whenever another creature enters battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. And then whenever another creature you control dies, you're going to lose 1 life. So once this deck starts ramping up, it gets actually insane. I need to change the printing on this. This is Elesh Norn. Everything gets +2 on your side, -2 on your enemy side. Gandalf the White. You may cast legendary spells and artifact spells if they have flash. That's okay. This is just another double trigger thing. Golem, he's a very good just sack engine. So sacrifice a creature. So you just sacrifice himself, or not himself, but okay. When you have tokens of him, you just sacrifice himself. He just returns to the hand, and you get a lot of value off of that. Usually, I use this, so you'll see. Give it a sec. Junie the Midnight Sky, whenever this one dies, each opponent discards 2 cards and loses 2 life. So this is really good. If I can get like 4 of these out, and I can, just sacrifice 2 or 3 of them, pretty much everyone has to discard their hand, which obviously I don't have to tell you why, that's good. This is also super good. Whenever one more tokens enter battlefield under your opponent's control, for each of them, create a tap token, so very good. This is also good because it just returns to my hand whenever a creature dies. And if a creature opponent would die, it exiles it, so it shuts down their graveyard. This one's also just good because I can sack it, and if there's any other token doublers, you'll realize that a lot of this stuff relies on token doublers and whatnot, but this is still 2 ETBs. So if I sack this and it re-ETBs, I can destroy 2 artifact or enchantments. So if there's anything out there like Dracogenesis or whatever stupid artifacts or enchantments are, I can literally just destroy it. This creature is not bad. I'm thinking about replacing this creature just because it is very good. Whenever a player casts their second sword each turn, you lose 1 life and you create, obviously that's mana. But at the same time, I feel like I could put a stronger creature in here because you'll see in a bit, I have a lot of mana. This is also extremely good because whenever a creature you control without flying dies, you're going to battlefield under control with the flying counter on it. So let's just say you get rid of this guy, right? This dies, goes to graveyard. Actually, it'll come back with a flying counter, but I also create a token of it because it dies if I have my commander out. So I have 2 of those out in the battlefield, and this one's just normal, not even in graveyard, with the flying counter on it. So this card is super good. This is just a token doubler. Roaming Throne, basically a token double where you just say zombie, and then the ability is triggered twice. This is, I like the Samwise. When I started ramping with this deck, what's it called? I can, so say I sack this creature, right? I'm gonna flash in Sam, or they board. I'm gonna flash in Sam. I'm gonna return this creature from graveyard to my hand because I went to graveyard this turn. And now, it's just crazy. Sephiroth, just obviously when at ETBs, you get the sacrifice on a creature. If you do draw a card, this happens 4 times. You get the emblem for it, which is this. So, very good. She-Horde, Whispering 1. At the beginning of your upgrade, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is a pretty good card, but I'm thinking about replacing it as well because I haven't used it a lot in the deck in the times I played. This is so freaking good because you exploit and I can just search for shit and I just put it into my hand. This isn't bad, but it's only good early game, so I'm thinking about removing this as well. Because my deck, I like to act like it's nothing's going on and then boom, randomly it just starts popping off. This is really good because when I start doing my sacrifices and whatnot, I gain life, and when this guy gets 4 or greater, I can destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent. So when I have multiple pieces out, I can just start board wiping left, right, and center, and it just goes off of each other. With this person, gives other opponents card draw, but it gives you treasure tokens. Tessa, though I haven't had to say anything, it's just double trigger. This is also another sacrifice engine. Everyone knows this card's super freaking good because I can just sacrifice a creature scry. If I don't like the card, I'll put it at the bottom of the library. If I like it, I put it on top. Like this, you pay 1 life, sacrifice on a creature, and you create a treasure token. One of the best cards because once you get the token doublers, you make 2 treasures, make extra treasure tokens, right? And you just start sacrificing, and your life is like, it's not a big deal. This one I'm also thinking about getting rid of. I like the idea of it, but it hasn't really done much in practicality. But this is just like the deck that I put together. I really like this deck, but I haven't like fine-tuned it. But this is just like, I just think it's such an underrated commander that no one's talking about. This is just another like this. These are a few creatures that I could just replace with creatures, better legendary creatures. Night's Whisper, obviously card draw must. This one's if I'm just getting ass fucked the entire game, and I say, you know what, I'm returning everything from my graveyard to the battlefield, and then someone counters or something, boom. But Reanimate goes super well with my commander because if I sacrifice legendary creature, they can just come back, and then I can make even more tokens. So let's just say I sacrifice her, right, Ayara. So let's say she ETBs. Now I'm gonna sacrifice her. Let's say I have the treasure token out. So now I have the token out. Now I'm going to reanimate her, so she comes back out. Oh, I'm going to sack her again. So now I have 2 of them, and if I have any way to bring them out, this is just, what's it called, a tutor. So, this is just removal. So, what's this? Additional cost cast spell, sacrifice an art creature, draw 2 cards and create. This is just another, so I couldn't recognize it based on the freaking art. I like the art, but I just didn't recognize it. Corrupted Conviction, use more card draw. Dark Ritual, do I need to say anything? This is really good for defeating other people's commanders because usually a lot of people at the tables I run with, at least, they usually have commanders of mana value 4 or greater. So same with this, destroy target artifact, chamber, or planeswalker, super good for 2 mana. Change target of spell, so this is just, you know, use Lulu's life equal to mana. So it's just good for. This is also good if I sacrifice a legendary creature, I draw 3 cards, which 95% of my creatures are legendary. So populate, so it's just to create a token that's a copy of creature token you control. So you just basically choose what's it called. Source Plowshare, good at getting commanders out, anything rough. My headset just turned off for no reason. But also very good like monocolored permanent. As additional cost, just draw 2 cards. Arcane, obviously, very good. Ashnod's Altar just gives you mana for sacrifice. Myriad, now this is really good because obviously there's a lot of ETBs in my deck that's very good. So, it's just very good. Chromatic, this I could probably replace because I don't have a lot of colors, but it's still good. Home of the Host, very good. If I could get this on my commander, it's just insane. Skullclamp is very good for if I want creatures to die. Soul Ring, obviously. Animate Dead, enchant creature card in graveyard. So this is any graveyard, so it's also very good. Anointed Procession, this is where you create twice as many tokens, so very good. Legendary creature control, get +2 and have Ward, which is great for targeting Also just gives them a little bit more Brave Pact. This is insane with this deck. Especially, so my pod sometimes runs with like Ural, for example, right? Ural's very hard to remove, especially if they have some auras on them where because Ural already gets hexproof, he gets indestructible, it's very hard to remove it. But with this, it causes the actual player to sacrifice. So that's not targeting Ural itself, it's targeting a player. And usually, a lot of Voltron decks are usually just one creature, so this really counters Voltron. This is also good for Populate. The first part's not bad, it's good for a blocker early on, but this main part is Populate because the creature died this turn, which most of the time that happens. Usually I choose, obviously, zombies. At the beginning of your end step, for each token goes to type that entered this turn create token. So this is really freaking good. So now I just have Bojuka Bog, it's just exile. I never exile my graveyard, but just in case there's any other graveyard players, boom. Now, obviously, graveyard play does counter this deck a bit, but this is just a dual land. Command Tower, this is just one of those where it's a white thing, but just in case, whatever reason, I can deal 4 damage to whatever creature's attacking. This is just extra, oh, if I need 2 whites or I need 2 blacks for like this person, I can, whatever. I had this card IRL, so that's why I put it on here. This is very good too because you can sacrifice a creature, you draw 2 cards, and you can play this land from exile after, so very good card. I like that card a lot. This is also a good card draw. Now this is super good obviously because when I sacrifice, I'll just put the creature back out to the top of the library. These are just some basic lands, whatnot I run, but that's basically the deck. Maybe I'll show how it works in Tabletop Simulator, just so you guys can see like, this is how it runs. But thank you all so much for watching. Peace.